Fatima is missing. We know that she's afraid.
I'm trying to protect you.
They think that we don't have what it takes to find her.
What is it she wants us to follow her?
We proved that this place couldn't break us. You can either lay down and die, or we can sing. We're taking our lives back.
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Icenfire here, and welcome to the channel. The stills for Season 3, Episode 9, entitled Revelations Part 1, have officially been released, and it certainly seems like Episode 9, the penultimate episode this season, is going to be a very intriguing one to say the least. With storylines beginning to converge and the fate of Fatima still hanging in the balance, these final two episodes certainly have quite a few threads that they still need to tie up before heading into Season 4, including what will most likely be another massive cliffhanger to end the season off on. The first still we have is this shot of Boyd ringing his trusty bell and gathering the townsfolk of Fromville to deliver a speech, where we see him here with Donna standing in front of everybody at the diner delivering said speech that we heard a little bit of in the trailer. And in one of the shots, we have Boyd standing on the steps of the diner with something in his hand as he addresses the town. And given that the shot is not super clear, it's hard to tell exactly what this object is, but I suppose it could potentially be a talisman just based on the size and shape of it. And while Boyd is delivering said speech, we also have a few other shots of the Matthews family and other members of the town gathered outside the diner, like this one between Elgin and Ellis, and I can only imagine what these two might be talking about, as Ellis certainly doesn't know Elgin's part in kidnapping Fatima at this point. We also got a few interesting shots of the interior of the diner as well, and it looks like it is indeed back open for business. A few episodes back, we saw Bacta approach Kenny with a suggestion to reopen the diner, and it looks like he did indeed take her up on her suggestion. And here we can see the Matthews family gathered to share a meal, which could potentially be the calm before the storm, as by the end of episode 9, I get the feeling things are going to start descending into all-out chaos. But next, we also have this shot of Victor inside his room at Colony House, and it's hard to tell exactly what he is doing here, if he is just looking out the window, or if he is getting ready to potentially use the rope ladder to escape out the window, which does seem a little bit peculiar at first glance if he is escaping out of the window, especially being broad daylight with there seemingly being no threat around, but then again, this is Victor after all. But upon closer inspection, it almost looks like he could potentially be throwing things out of his window, maybe even in a fit of rage. As we see here, what looks to be a tambourine, maybe, of sorts, flying out of the window in midair, which could potentially be an indication of how he is taking the recent revelation about his mother. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where Victor's storyline is going to head from here on out. In episode 8, he learned a profound realization as he recalled that it was his story that he recounted to his mother that potentially sent her on her journey and led to her death.
It was the boy in white. He was the one that was down here. He was the one who was telling secrets to Christopher. He said the answers to the end are at the beginning. That it started with the children. What the others did to them. The boy in white was trying to tell Christopher that to save the children, he would have to go through the tree. Christopher wouldn't listen. So I told my mother what the boy in white said. That's why she left us.
So I imagine Victor is going to be dealing with quite a lot of guilt and even anger, knowing that he had a hand in sending his mother to her doom, as if the guy doesn't already have enough trauma to deal with. But next, we also have a few shots of Donna speaking to Acosta, as it appears that they continue the search for Fatima. In the episode 9 trailer, we learn that when Boyd is addressing the town outside of the diner, he is informing all of them that Fatima has gone missing, so it looks like a search party is being mounted in response. And speaking of Acosta, we also have these shots of her and Kenny in what looks to be the Colony House kitchen, with a little bit of a worried look on their faces. And it's hard to tell who or what they are potentially looking at, but I am really looking forward to finding out what's going on in this scene. especially with what appears to be Acosta reaching for her sidearm. Now, although her weapon is empty, the rest of Colony House probably doesn't know that's the case, so I imagine she could probably still use it as a deterrent of some sort. We also get some really interesting shots of Tabitha and Julie as well, starting with this shot of the two of them standing outside of Victor's peach truck, followed by a very interesting few shots of them seemingly approaching the doors to the root cellar. And based on the episode 9 trailer, I get the feeling that they are being lured here by one of the Onkui children, as we did see one of them beckoning Tabitha to follow her heading into the woods. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the Onkui children are trying to help rescue Fatima by leading Tabitha to where she is being held captive. Which of course begs the question, why exactly would the Onkui children care about what is happening to Fatima unless it is tied to them in some manner? And I don't get the overwhelming sense that the Onkui children are nefarious or evil per se, so maybe they do just want to help, or maybe helping Fatima will potentially help them in some way. But I guess the other question remains, just what exactly will Tabitha and Julie see when they enter the root cellar? What kind of state will Fatima be in? After all, we did see in the episode 9 teaser trailer that her stomach is already beginning to show, indicating some sort of rapid growth that this fetus is undergoing. So if nothing else, it certainly seems like things are looking pretty grim for Fatima. But last, and certainly not least, we have this very mysterious shot of Jade and Henry standing next to a bottle tree and what appears to be a house. Mysterious in the sense where it's hard to tell, is this still in Fromville, or are they back in the real world potentially? Based on the look of the tree, it doesn't appear to be the same one that was in Henry's yard back in the real world, and it's clearly not a faraway tree based on the size of it. And it doesn't seem to be the bottle tree that Boyd and Sarah found in Season 1 either. So I suppose it is either a new bottle tree that they found in the woods of Fromville, or maybe they potentially did make it out to the real world. Could this potentially be the original bottle tree that Miranda made a few towns over? The one that Tabitha and Henry were on their way to visit before they got into their car accident, which landed them back in Fromville? Or could this potentially even be just another vision that Jade is having? And definitely let me know your thoughts and comments down below. Do you think Jade and Henry made it back to the real world? Are they looking at Miranda's original bottle tree a few towns over? Or did they potentially just stumble upon a new bottle tree inside the woods of Fromville, which just happens to have a house or a structure next to it? Whatever the case, I am really looking forward to seeing this scene, probably more than the rest. But there we have it, folks. Episode 9 is just around the corner now, and I cannot wait to see where these final 2 episodes take us, and what other big revelations they have in store. But that is going to do it for my breakdown of the Episode 9 preview stills for Revelations Part 1. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and consider subscribing to stay up to date on all of our upcoming content. And until next time, keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.
Fatima is missing. We know that she's afraid.
I'm trying to protect you.
They think that we don't have what it takes to find her.
What is it? She wants us to follow her.
We proved that this place couldn't break us. Stop! We can either lay down and die, or we can say, we're taking our lives back.
Okay, ding-dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Eyes and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.